Hello and welcome to this special edition of the Back Nine Report. Every week, Fred Altvater and I check in on the world of golf to bring you the latest news, insights, analysis, interviews, recaps, previews. Hey, we cover anything and everything golf. In other words, if it happened in golf, we have it for you. And if it happened in golf in 2021, we have it for you. We're making the countdown of the top 10 stories for 2021 in golf. And this is number 10. And every time we do that, we have to bring in reinforcements. We have the European golf guru, Kieran Clark, with us. So Kieran, hi, how are you today?
I'm very well, Carlos. I'm looking forward to diving into this top 10. And, it seems fitting that number 10 on our list today is the highest number because the guys we're talking about, they're up there as well when it comes to the numbers. I'm talking about age in this particular case.
Well, they haven't topped Fred yet, so.
Well,
Fred,
no,
hi,
never.
I
mean, there's Bobby Jones is about the same age as Fred, so that's the same vintage.
See, we're topping them because we're bringing Fred in here. So Fred, hi, how are you today?
Yeah, I can relate to these guys, though. I know how it feels to get old, for sure. So, top 10 every year, always look forward to it. And it always amazes me, guys, that I put down my 10 top stories. And when I look at yours and I will look at Kieran's, they're almost exactly the same. There's hardly any difference in them. We may move a couple numbers around a little bit place, but the stories are pretty much all the same. And we're golf nuts, so we love to talk about the top golf stories. So go ahead, let the people know what number 10 is, Carlos.
Okay, number 10 is Phil Mickelson and Bernhard Langer. They defeat age. There's no age limit in golf for them. And in different stories, right? Because Phil Mickelson, he's a major champion. Again, let that sink in, okay? He's a 50-year-old. And at the time, he was ranked 115 in the world. He was without a top 10 in his last 16 starts and without truly contending in a major championship for 4 years. But he did the near unthinkable back in May when he won the 103rd PGA Championship on the ocean course in Kiowa Island. He was 50 years old, 11 months and 30 days old, so became the oldest ever winning major champion, surpassing Julius Burrows, who was 48 when he won the 1968 championship. But you know who outdid him? Bernhard Langer. He won for the 6th time the Charles Schwab Cup champions. Like, it's incredible. I mean, he's 64 years old, and you know what it's really mind-boggling? He played all 39 events on that super long 2-year tour. That it's incredible. So Fred, let me bring you in first here. How about Phil Mickelson and Bernhard Langer defeating age? Definitely, this was one of the top stories of the year.
Well, just the fact that Phil Mickelson at the age of 50 won a major championship on one of the most difficult golf courses in the world, the ocean course at Kiowa. And who seriously expected Phil to win this thing? The odds on this thing, if you'd have bet on him, you could have made a bunch on that little bet. And then the second thing is, where is the fountain of youth that Bernhard Langer is drinking from that allows him to win the Charles Schwab Cup for the 6th time at the age of 64? By the way, as you mentioned, this wasn't just for 2021. It included the 2020 season as well. It was a 2-year season, basically. So shouldn't he really get credit for 2 Charles Schwab Cups for this thing, right? Because it's 2 years. So he played in all 39 events in the wraparound season. In total, he recorded 2 wins, 4 runners-ups, 24 top 10s, did not miss 1 cut, and earned over $3.2 million to bring his career Champions Tour earnings to just a few bucks shy of $32 million. Not too bad for a retirement job, right? Not too bad at all. By the way, the previously mentioned Phil Mickelson, we all know him, actually won the Charles Schwab Cup Championship, the tournament itself, when he went on a birdie barrage at the end of the event. He's only played now in 6 Champions Tour events, has won 3 of those. It's just too easy for Phil. It's boring for him. With his 5-year exemption to PGA Tour events and majors, I don't think he's going to be a regular on the Champions Tour anytime soon. May show up in a TV booth here and there, may do some other stuff. he can still win on the regular tour, believe it or not, against these young guys. And that's where his heart really is. He loves going out there and competing against those kids. He just loves hitting those bombs against the young guys. So I don't think we're seeing him on the Champions Tour too much, maybe a particular tournament here and there. But for him to win the PGA Championship at the age of 50, that was phenomenal stuff. Is one of the best tournaments I've ever seen Phil Mickelson play. Was really impressive. And Bernhard Langer, I can't say enough. He just like the Energizer Bunny. He just keeps on going.
He does. And just to add a little bit, it's Phil Mickelson has won 4 out of 6 in the Champions Tour. So he's batting 667. That is amazing. I mean, he might say to Bernhard, hey, you won it because I just played 6 times. Otherwise, I would have won more. But anyway, Kieran, it's incredible at any sport for somebody who's 50 years old, win a major, a type of a major. You can translate it to whatever other event equally in any other sport. It hasn't happened. And for Bernhard Langer at 64 to play 39 times and win, like Fred was saying, I would give him 2 cups because it was 2 years long. So how about this amazing feats by Bernhard Langer and Phil Mickelson?
It's 2 staggering achievements, and I actually think Phil hasn't got the absolute credit he deserves for what he did at Kiawah Island. He was absolutely brilliant there, and it came from nowhere. No one saw that one coming. There was nothing about his game that suggested he could possibly compete. He always talks a very good game, but he wasn't showing it. But he turned up there, and he was absolutely fantastic on as Fred touched on, a really tough venue, a brilliant venue, and I thought that was a fantastic PGA Championship, one of the best majors I've seen in years. I thought it was just a great setup, great golf course, perfect for these guys these days in terms of the challenge that it offers, but also the chance of great shots and rewarding good play as well. And Phil was brilliant, and to win that event was just staggering. And the scenes at the end when he came through the crowd, it was his Jack Nicklaus in '86 or even Tiger in 2019. That was that kind of moment for him. And for Phil, it was, I think, very significant for a lot of reasons. And for me, always looking back at it now, Phil's had an extraordinary career, an amazing talent, just one of the best ever. But he's always been in the shadow of Tiger Woods because Tiger Woods is probably the best golfer of all time. And Phil's always, he's great. In any era, he's the best, but he's just behind Tiger in every aspect. But now he has his own unique piece of history. He's the oldest major champion ever. And that might stand forever, quite possibly. Julius Boros, that stood for almost half a century. Actually, over half a century. Yeah, 68. So yeah, a long time ago. So there's no reason why his record won't stand potentially forever. Unless Tiger somehow wins a major in his 50s. You never know. Wouldn't write him off. But I mean, it's an amazing thing for Phil Mickelson. And to me, it was, as I say, it establishes his own piece of history in golf. And I think his career deserved that unique status. And now he has that. It was a breathtaking win, fantastic to watch. And in any other year, it would be one of the number one highlight. It might still be number one highlight in terms of individual achievement, but it was great to watch. A fabulous win on a great golf course. And I think the PGA it might be the best major this year, but for that reason, it was just a great setup and ultimately a wonderful story. But yeah, Bernhard Langer, I mean, here's a thought for the two of you. I sort of feel, I thought this for years. I remember watching Bernhard Langer in person about a decade or so ago at Carnoustie in the Senior Open, and I thought it was an education watching this man navigate his way around this golf course. It was fascinating to watch. And you consider, if longevity is a great factor to pride yourself on, Bernhard Langer is one of the greatest golfers in history. In terms of the quality of golf he has played for as long as he has, very few others have ever come close to that. We're talking 5 decades of playing to an elite level consistently. And it's amazing. We go back 40 years ago, 1981, Bernhard was runner-up in the Open Championship behind Bill Rogers at Royal St. George's 40 years ago. He's made major cuts in 5 separate decades. He's won tournaments in 6 different decades. It's just extraordinary. And yes, it's getting harder for him. He's getting older. He's had some surgery this fall as well, building up for next year. And obviously, we're talking about Phil and Jim Furyk and those guys on the Champions Tour now. It's going to be hard to compete with them if they play more regularly. Certainly, Furyk will. But Bernhard Langer is a marvel, and I think in some respects he's one of the most underrated golfers of all time. For the quality of golf he's shown for so many years, to overcome the putting yips like he has done several times in his career, to remain playing golf to that level, showing that desire, that dedication. He's as fit as he ever has been. He looks almost the same as he did 20 years ago. He's a marvel. He's an extraordinary guy, and so two amazing achievements in different senses. Phil is one of the great major wins of all time, and Bernhard Langer, I think might just be one of the most underrated golfers of all time. And the longevity he's shown, Carlos, has been remarkable. And if Phil's win might never be surpassed in terms of his age, Bernhard's longevity, that might never be surpassed either, because that is truly extraordinary. So no, two amazing achievements from two just fabulous golfers.
Yeah, Langer definitely is like in rarefied air just by himself. And I was reading not long ago a post by the Palm Beach Post that they were saying that Langer, if you adjust the ages for every athlete in the world right now, because of his achievements, he would be the best athlete in the world, age adjusted. And it was just amazing the way that they did it. And it really tells you what you were saying. I mean, all that he has achieved, and just at 64 years old is incredible, the way that he still produced at a high level. But anyway, this was our number 10 for the top 10 stories in golf for 2021. Number 9 is coming out tomorrow. So you want to be watching very closely, because we are counting down to number 1, and that's a surprise. I assure you it's going to be a surprise. So anyway, thank you for joining us. We're on to number 9. See you in the next one.